let's continue to talk about the historical cultural approach. We are talking about the interpreting the Bible verses, and when you interpret the Bible verse, you have to consider about its context. Beside those, you have to consider to whom it was written, who written that, when it was written, what culture that writer were in the culture. Okay, that writer were in that time. And then, what do we mean by culture? Culture, the two-tone patterns of human behavior that includes the thought, the speech, action, and artifacts. The thought, speech, action, and artifacts. And look at this picture. Okay, the people who live in a cold place. Who's this in? Can you guess where are these from? Is this Mongolian, Finland, or Russia? Right? Now, how do we know it? Okay, if you just look at the place, cold place, like here, then in Finland it also have snow. In China also have snow. In America also has snow. In Russia also has snow. In Mongolian also northern part also has snow. So if just all look at the nature, we will not know. We have looked at the animals that they use. Okay, now what kind of animal is this, and where is it located? Number one. Number two, look at the clothes. What kind of clothes this? Whose favorite in this color? The way that they wear, the style, the thread over here. Okay, the size like this, only one side, and the girdle. The girdle what? What's that? The belt is not the belt. The girdle that they wear here. Why is orange? And then the hat that they're using, okay, why is like this? And then the skin color, those things belong to culture, okay? And based on that culture, you know where it's living, okay? Like this one, you guess, okay? Or the skin are black, so most probably they live in the hot place. They were holding a gun, so most probably they was born in the time of war. In the time full of war, they need to protect themselves. They're wearing the face with decoration like this, and with the teeth of an elephant, not the teeth, the trunk of an elephant. So they are living in fear with nature. They are fearing something in nature. They are not so civilized. Yeah. So we can look at this and we just guess what they are living. But look at the eyes, they are not happy. Look at their face, their mouth, expressions, they are not happy. Means they are sad. They are sad, right? They're something that distress, something that caused them problem, or something. And what kind of people's wearing the the necklace like this? Okay, look at the necklace. This only one, and this is two. So maybe this is a girl, this is a boy, and this one is it a boy or girl? Okay, so we do not know. So look at that. So that's culture. Each place has different culture. So where she come from? Okay. What kind of people is always wearing flower on their head and cover themselves with long animals hairs? Maybe it's white. Maybe it's not horse hair. It's some animals hair that's white and long. I do not know. Okay, so I'm not good in those cultural, but we just guess. Okay, this PowerPoint prepared for Sir Jojo Soloreno. So just guess. He knows where they come from. So culture The two-tone patterns of human behavior that includes thought, speech, action, artifacts, customary beliefs, their social forms, material traits, or racial, religious, or social group. So the cultures not including themselves, this is taking as personals. The thought, the speech, action, artificials as personal, but it can work as a social forms, such as the religious, racial, racial, like this kind of group. What kind of group people is this? Is minor people or major people in that country? And how do they related with each other? Are they neighbors or their relatives? Do their relatives stay in one house? Like the northern Vietnam in the old time, the parents always build a big house facilities, and on the children, grandchildren, all they stay in one house like that. Okay, one house. When they have daughter-in-law, they just also bring the daughter-in-law to their house. They just live in one big house with small places. So is it the same here in the northern Vietnam? Or the southern Vietnam is different. Okay, when they reach 18 years old, they need to go in independence. No, any kids want to stay with their parents. No, any boy want to stay with the parents when they reach 18. So that is belong to social group, social the relationship between people, social group, right? No, not social group. What is the term? Relationship with the people, the social forms. Social forms of that. And these kind of people. Why are all ladies? Where are the men? And what is she doing? Is she building the house on the roof over here? Is it the roof of the house? Hey, what kind of this flag? Okay, those questions that we need to study. So the same when we read the Bible, we have to consider what kind of clothes they are wearing. When the king tore his clothes, is it only one clothes or there's another clothes inside? Okay, is it only one clothes or other clothes inside? When Jesus was crucified on the cross, they torn out his clothes. His clothes was removed. Was it removed totally, or he still have some white thing to cover his secret part, the butt and the secret part, the human, the lalaki part, the male's part? Is it totally removed, or he has something to cover? You have to study that, right, for us to know. It looks like in BNG, Papua New Guinea. Okay, in BNG, some they wear like that. Yes. Talking about carnivals. In BNG, there's that the people is eating other humans. I had a BNG friend, and he is BNG. He's a missionary. He's a BNG. Is it carnivals true in your place? And he told me that in BNG it's true, but it's in the old time. And even the old time, they only eat their own relatives when the relatives die. Because they said, when a relative die, if you bury it into the sand, the body will stay in the cold place. It will be rotten, eaten by the insect, by the worms. It's so painful, it's so lonely. So they want to bring their relatives wherever they go. That's why they have the custom of eating the dead relatives. Okay? And another foreigners, they stay far, they look at it, they just eat it. And they saw a frame, they run away, and they put the news that the BNG people, tribals, are eating humans, etc. So they make stories and make film. But the truth is that they only eat their relatives after their relatives die, to bring the relatives with them wherever they go. Okay, they don't want to leave their relative to the cold place. That's what my friend told me. See, So if we just depend on our knowledge nowadays, what we hear, we watch on YouTube, we watch on movies, we will misunderstand the BNG, the Papua New Guinea person. But now when I hear from the missionaries, and he's a BNG, missionary Bobby Boy, for the reality, so he's the one who told me that. See that? So, oh wow, what kind of people are these? Was they wearing like this? Okay, we do not know. So culture is the basics for mission strategies, especially for missionaries. When we go to another country, there's like this. There are many missionaries, Filipinos missionary, come to Vietnam and turn the Vietnamese Christian to become a Filipinos. That's the fact, and it's really hard. Filipinos in culture, and it's causing them a hard time. We have to distinguish which one is biblical truth and which one is custom or culture. We adapt to culture wherever we go for the sake of the gospel that we win souls. We are not bringing the souls. We're not trying to convert other people from other countries to become like us. Right? So it's different. Americans missionary came to Vietnam and convert Vietnam to become a Christian, okay, in the Vietnamese way. Why the Filipinos came and convert the Vietnamese to become Christians in the Filipinos way? That is a hard thing. I heard a lot of reports. Okay, so it's not suitable for me to tell and list out the name, but that's some of the report, and I can see also. So we have to difference between the culture and the biblical truth. This is culture. Is it a culture or biblical truth? There are men, they're wearing clothes like this, and you go there and you preach to them the gospel, and then you ask them to wear long sleeves and wearing shoes. And so wearing long sleeves, wearing shoes, is that biblical or cultural? So you have to distinguish. Okay, if you minister to this kind of people, will you remove your clothes and wear like them to go and share the gospel to them, or you remain as white long sleeve, black necktie, with shoes tucked in with iron polished shoe? So it's up to them. It's up to you. Okay, it's up to you. This is a culture in the cold place. That's how they live in canopy. Okay, in their tribe. What these two men are doing? They are jumping. Wow, they seem like they're very tall. Okay, they're wearing. Some are white and some are red. We do not know why they're red and why another are white. And if you come to them, how you are going to share the gospel to them? Will you wear your clothes like that? Will you wear your clothes like them, or you change your way? So you have to understand their situation, okay, and the culture. In traveling to other countries and cultures absolutely, I know it is in Japan. They like to put a very thick, thick makeup on their face, and you will look at their hand. That is the real skin. And look at their face. Okay, so that's belong to their culture. For them, that is beautiful. We do not know, but we have to accept that. And if you are lady missionaries, go there. For you to mingle with them, you have to do those things. As long as you will not shave your hair. The Bible said if you shave the lady, do not cover your hair. No, do not, cutting your hair short is a shame to you. The hair are long, right? So, now, concerning about the cutting of hair, is that culture or is that biblical truth of cutting of hair? The lady having short hair. Okay, it's your assignment. Okay, your assignment. If you go to Africa or BNG, all the ladies have short hair. What will you do with the verse in the Bible? If lady have short hair, it would be a shame for them. And what do you answer that one? When you go to Africa and or BNG, those places, naturally lady have short hair. Okay, so that's your B assignment. In Muslim country, they cover. And you know what? I asked one of them, why you cover even your ear? Because they said, girl, if you show your ear, it's the same that you are naked in men's eyes. That's why you even should close up the ear. Okay, so they cover everything. So this kind, do you think is biblical or custom? Because in the Bible it said women need to cover their head. Oh, and they literally cover their head, and they cover even their feet, cover everything. Is it biblical or what our custom assignment? No. We take note of their norms and practice and adjust to it. Here, we take off their norms and practice and adjust to it. We learn to adjust to it. Okay? Okay. Wow. Wow. Is that in India? I think with the nose, pin like this and cover the white like this. I think it's in India. Okay, and then the man like this, the ladies like that in India. In reading the Bible stories and situations, you can see that many Jews, they are bound their head to the wall and pray, etc. Concerning about the fishing in Galilee lake, okay, Galilee Sea, okay, but it's just as a lake, okay, but they call in the Bible term it's a sea. And we are actually traveling to another time, space, and culture. So we have to adjust ourselves when we read the Bible. Think historically. Think historically. Okay? We travel in time, space, and culture. Go back to the old time and place, how to do the thing, like that. Okay? So, well. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill. So what Mars Hill look like? Ye men of Athens. How's Athens look like? Okay, this is not in Jews. Okay, it's in Athens, in Mars Hill. And then what it look like? It look like this. This is own historical site that still exists to this day. And you just imagine like that. Of course, these three are new. Okay, so it's just here. You imagine full of people here. There's no cities here, so full of people and Paul's preaching like that. Okay, so Jojo is there already. They came to Corinth and preached again and met Aquila and Priscilla. Okay, then Corinne. Okay, and met the two person. Okay, you travel in time. Okay, of course, it's just some mark over there, but the weather is different. Maybe the weather is different. The surrounding and other buildings are different, but the mountains still there. Okay, the mountains still there. The hills up and down still there. Okay. In the anthem, the pillar still there, the hill still there. Okay, the trees are new. Okay, all of these are new. They just devastating already. Okay, maybe in the future, in the old time, they have a lot of building, a lot of people here. Yeah, just imagine like that. And come to greet. Okay, how's Crete look like that? Okay. And then, wow, okay. But of course, in the old time, there's no such of this. Just the same water. And how's the temperature of the water? What kind of fish usually stay there, etc. in Thessalonica. Okay, Thessaloniki. Okay, so go and traveling time. So attention to cultural study in the Bible enable us to know the origin, literal, social, designated meaning of the word, phrase, or a custom. Literal interpretation is crippled without the help of cultural study. Of course, that's why we have the Bible custom. Okay, Bible culture, Bible custom, Bible manner. So because you cannot have the literal interpretation without the cultural study. Okay, this is just a geographical study only. These houses was not built yet. It's very different. We just, but somehow it's just there. Like, you look at this kind of house. What do you think? The weather of here usually has strong winds. How do I know it? Because look at the house. It's on flat, and extremely hot. The flat will remove what? Will remove the heat. The flat will not reduce the roof flying. You see that? And usually have strong wind and extremely heat. So just look at the style of the house. You know the weather in that place. And extremely cold in winter. Why? How know it? Because look, there's no big trees. If there's no big trees, means the weather is so hot at daytime and so cold at nighttime. So big trees not exist in those places. See? So look at the picture. You can guess most of just the weather. But for the culture, you have to talk to the people, be mingle among them, eat what they eat, sleep where they sleep, and go what they go, work the work that they're doing daily. Then you will know the culture. Examples of biblical passages whose interpretations are affected by a knowledge of some aspect of cultural context. Example, political. Okay, what is the political that time? How do the people respect and Romans? How do people respect the king? Of course, in the old time in Asia, Chinese respect their king is so different with the Israelites respect their king. Okay, it's so different. Vietnamese, we know how Chinese respect their king. They respect the king as the sons of God, as the son of God. Okay, but in Israel, it's different culture. Okay, so that's why sometimes we don't understand why they do not loyalty to their king. If you read in the book of Kings, but anyway, we have to understand the culture, and then religious, how they gather, what are their main religions over there, how they blow the trumpet here. It's very hard to blow. Okay, Basanable tried, but he cannot blow it. It's really hard. You have this strong lung to blow that one. And the economics, what kind of money they're using, and how much is the worth of the penny, and what can it buy with 3 penny, etc. The legal, okay, how ways lays to public in the old time, in the Old Testament, when the king give an order where the speaker, the mouth speak of the king. How do you call the mouth speak of the king? The proclaimer. There's term for that. I forgot. The messenger of the king, where the messenger of the king will announce the message of the king. Is it on the street, outside the market, or at the gate? See that? So you have to study those things, and then the agricultural, architectural. Based on the architectural, you will know the weather and the kind of people they are. Of course, the people who live in the cold, the hot place, is tendency to more aggressive than the people who live in the cold place. So clothing, their clothes will show their attitude. The people are wearing light clothes. Light clothes are more open, more generous. Okay, coloring clothes, light clothes, colorful clothes are more open, more funny, more generous, more friendly. The people who wear dark clothes, dim clothes are more kind of closed person. Okay, so based on their clothes, you guess they custom already, around 50-60%. Domestic, what kind of their animals? How do they live in their house? What are the materials in their house? What animals they do allow in their house? Do they have a pet dog, a pet cat, or a pet lamb? Okay, a pet sheep. Do they have that? What kind of pet do they have? Etc. What kind of cattle do they have? So, cattle or castle? Cattle. Okay. Do they have? So we study. Geographical. Okay. Are they near the sea? Are they near the lake? Okay. Where they near the sea? What is their main job? Of course, you can guess where the lake. What's their main job? The fisherman. And you can imagine what is the body of a fisherman. Okay, how strong, how brave, and how what's the word? How durable is the body of a fisherman in front of the weather, etc. Yes, that's why we have to study, because study all of this, geographical, the history, the clothes, the domestic, you can guess 70-80% the true characters of the Jewish people already. And then the military, how they do arrange the military, how they command to order, etc. to the war, the social, what the relationship between other peoples, how do they respect parents, how do they honor the grandparents, how do they treat the stranger, how do they treat the neighbor, how do they train the child. Those are social. We have to study. And then one of the most important issues Bible interpreters face is the questions of cultural conditioned Bible passages. That's really hard. That is, are some passages of the Bible limited to that day by the cultural setting and therefore not transferable to our culture? Is everything we read in Scripture normative for today? That is very hard. Is it all the thing that we study is transferable to us today or not? Yes or no? Like a while ago, we read about the passage in the Bible, greeting with one another with a holy kiss. That's their custom. Is it transferable today? Will we kiss each other? What kind of kiss? Kiss on the face, kiss on the lips, kiss on the shoulder, kiss on the hands? What kind of the kiss? And then another one, like when you're angry, they torn their clothes. Will you torn your clothes, tear your clothes when you got angry? What's that? The culture, they using dancing David's dance, and you drum and trumpet when he honor God. Will we use it today? So that is the hard question. We have to consider it. Is it transferable for us today? Example, like a lady have long hair, should have long hair or should cover the hair, etc. So to what extent the relevance of the Bible limited by the cultural setting? If some passages are limited in this way, then how do we determine which ones are transferable to our culture and which ones are not? Okay, so how? That's a big question. The principles that may be useful in determining which culture practices and situations, commands, and precepts in the Bible are transferable to our culture, which ones are non-transferable. So what are those principles? It's consider a lot of things: political, religious, economic, legal, agriculture, architectural, clothing, domestic, geographical, military, and social. Like in the old time, God said that if a hand for a hand and a tooth for a tooth, Okay, if you hit someone, kill someone, then you have to pay your life. And if you kill someone, their relatives have the right to seek and kill you. And Israel was commanded to build the refuge cities. Will we apply it today in our country, in Vietnam, in Philippines, in America? Talking about the legal, political, will we do it? In the old time, they have king. Will we have king today? So consider those things. Some situations, commands, principles are repeatable, continuous, are not revoked, and or pertain to moral and theological subjects, and or are repeated elsewhere in Scripture, therefore are permanent and transferable to us. So what are those things that transferable to us? Those things transferable to us is the precept, okay, the precept, the main idea, the moral, okay, the moral and theological subjects that are transferable. Example, kissing of kiss one another with a holy kiss. Okay, so kissing. In the Romans, they kiss the hands to honor a person. Okay, in the old time, in America, Europe, they kiss their cheek, but only male and female and female. But if it's applied to us nowadays, if you male kiss male, is the people will look at us like gay. Okay, right? But the moral in the old time is showing friendship, showing love. So nowadays, we are not kissing, but we can also show the love by shaking hand, by embrace each other, right? So the moral is transferred to us, but the what? The custom is not. Okay, do you understand? So, but the theological subjects are transferable. Salvation by faith and not by work is repeated many times in the Bible. So these belong to theological subject and is transferable and applied to us. Okay, wait. Some situations, commands, and principles pertain to individual specific non-repeatable circumstances or non-moral or non-theological subjects and or have been revoked and are therefore not transferable today. Okay, some commands did not repeat many times, okay, and it's not a theological, then it's not transferable. I'll give you example. Some commands, such as God command to the Jews a lot, such as the commands of returning the land in the not tribulation, jubilation year, means a happy year. Synonym for not jubilee, jubilation. I forgot. Am I correct? Jubilee, yes, Jubilee year, yes. Okay, so I'm just my English. Okay, Jubilee year. As we know that the Jubilee year is 7 times 7, that's 49, and it's on the 50 years they have to return. If you buy the land from someone, and after 49 years, you have to return it to the owner without any asking money from the owner. That is Jubilee year. So that Jubilee year is only repeated few times in the Old Testament, and even the Jews, they apply it only few. Okay, and on the king's times, they did not repeat it anymore. Only in the Judges, in the time of Joshua, Moses, but in the time of Kings, it did not repeat it anymore. and it's never repeated in the New Testament. So it's not transferable today. It's not transferable today. We are not commanded to return the land after we buy, after 40 years. Okay? And then political, religious, economic, legal. Okay, we move there. Number 3, some situations of command pertain to cultural setting that are not partially similar to us, in which only principles are transferable. This is the one that I talk about the holy kiss, etc. So the principle will transfer to us, but not the culture. The principles are there. The principle transfer to us, not the culture. Okay. When we worship God, okay, we worship God. The principle of worship God is to be holy, to be solemn. That is a principle. But in every places, it have different way to show the solemnness, to show the solemn when they worship God. In old time, David, they sing, they play harp, they drum, trumpet, etc. But in our time, if you do that, it's not solemn anymore. It's like a dance club. So we cannot transfer the custom, but we transfer the principle of the holiness. Okay, the solemn in the worshiping God, etc. And in some situations or command pertain to cultural settings with no similarities, but in which principles are transferable. Okay, so there's no I have no time to give more examples. You can find it more and more. Sorry, we just stop here because my voice is gone. We just read this one. Guidelines for determining whether Bible practice are cultural bound or transcultural. Okay, cultural bound means it stop over there. Transcultural means it can apply to today. See first, if the behavior in the biblical culture means something different in our culture. Second, if the behavior does mean something different in our culture, then determine the timeless principle expressed in that practice. Third, determine how the principle can be expressed in a cultural equivalent. What does it mean? It means like this. Pain and as pain. Okay. This is old time cultures, and this is your time culture. Okay, I will make it different. Okay. So this is the old time culture. Old in biblical, in the Israel, Jewish or Babylonian culture. This is our culture nowadays. Depend on your country. Vietnam, America, depends on the country. There are many differences and many that they are the same, right? There are many things that are the same. But if the Bible talking about the the things that over here, example the A thing over here, okay, and this A thing for the old time, it is A. A is A, but the A thing over here, when you in our culture, it's become not A anymore. It's become the B. Example, the A in the old time, okay, this one like in Philippines, you I do not know, in America you put your hand on the head of the child, means you good boy, okay, and you tap your hands on the head of the child, means encouragement, right? Encouragement, you show that you are a good boy. But the same action that is putting hands on the head of the child in China, that is disrespect, dishonor. You need to bow down, you need to humble down, you need to humble down, like that. That is because in China the head is their custom is a place to worship ancestor. If you pat on their head, means you pat on their ancestor, and that is not good. it means B already. It's not A anymore. Do you understand? So, in case if the biblical culture over here is different meaning with our cultures this time. So what we do in this time, we have to withdraw what is the principle of this. The principle. Why they pat their hands on the head? Okay? Why do they remove tore their clothes when they're angry? So this is a principle. Okay, they pat the hand on the head because to encourage. So we get that one to over here. How we encourage in our times, how we encourage a child in our time. We pat on the shoulder, we shake the hand, right? Oh, in the old time, in the Bible time, kiss with the holy kiss. Nowadays, if we kiss, oh, they will talk that you are gay, right? So now the principle over here is to show love. That is the principle. So the principle that one we can apply over here to show love, we by embrace each other, greeting each other. How are you, brats? How's it going? Showing care by your words. That is principle that's transferable. Do you understand? But if the A over here is same with the A over here, if it has the same meaning, means it stay over here. Yes, here. If the A stay over here, it's same. It's sharing the same here. Then we can practice it. Okay? Do you understand? So that is how we interpret the Bible. Okay? So that's all for today. I hope you learned something.